Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today, I want to talk about the effect that stress has on your body and sleep. And I'm talking about chronic stress. And I know that we all know that stress is bad for us, right? But I don't think that everyone knows exactly what it does in the body and to the body over the long term. I mean, all of us know that stress affects our sleep. That's the number one reason why people can't sleep is because of mental stress, right? That's what causes that mind chatter that we can't stop and us to wake in the night with our thoughts racing and all of that. Stress is definitely a huge deal. But it's also affecting your body in ways that then continue that insomnia, that continue to make it really hard for you to sleep. So I want to explain how that works. So, you know, if you've had a traumatic event happen in the past, you may have noticed that your health deteriorated after that. So, say someone close to you passed away, or you had major surgery, or you worked a stressful job for a couple years. And so it's easy to think that after that stressor is gone, that you're just going to go back to normal. And that's possible, especially when we're young and really healthy. But there are times where if your body has started breaking down too much, then you're not going to be able to just bounce back to how you were before. And so, for some people, after something like that happens, you might still be experiencing symptoms such as anxiety or digestive issues or sleep problems. And yeah, that's because that event triggered a bunch of changes in the body that it couldn't handle. And then your body starts to break down, then that cascades into other systems of the body unless you start taking steps to correct it. So, let's say a minor stressful event happens, like call it an acute stressor, like a bear is chasing you in the Tetons, or you get in a fight with your spouse. That's when your fight or flight response kicks in, and your body releases cortisol and adrenaline and other hormones to help you survive, to help you run from or fight that bear. Now, your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a bear and running late and being stuck in traffic. So it still releases those same hormones, even though you aren't actually needing to survive anything. So, and then when that stress response is happening, certain systems in your body stop working. So things like maintaining your cells, digesting food, your reproductive system, your immune activity are all put on hold because that stuff isn't important if you're threatened with your life in that moment. So we're perfectly designed to deal with stress in the moment, those acute stressors as they happen. And when everything is working properly, then your body adapts to that stressful event and goes back into what's called homeostasis or balance. But we are not designed for chronic, ongoing, long term, constant stress, which is what a lot of us deal with these days. And even if it's not mental stress, there's still, which, there is a lot of that, right? You're worried about money, you're working a lot in your job, you're, all the constantly running late and rushing around. Like that is that mental stress. But there is also physical stress of your body dealing with environmental toxins all the time and getting pesticides from food and things going on in your body, like having a gut infection or your hormones being unbalanced. So, all of those things are also chronic stress that's happening all the time. And what happens is that it really overloads our adrenal gland. And so, that is what produces our stress hormones like cortisol. It stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight response, and it suppresses the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what helps us feel calm and relaxed. So that's how we can easily get into that constantly feeling anxious and wired and stressed. And also, your body stops releasing DHEA, growth hormone, testosterone, estrogen, all these hormones that build up the body and that are part of those your reproductive system, your immune system, your digestive system. So again, when you're in fight or flight, those systems really slow down working. So, and then once that happens and certain organ systems start dysfunctioning, especially the cardiovascular system, your heart, your respiratory system, and your immune system for sure. So chronic stress leads to many things in your body. First of all, it's going to keep you from being able to break down and absorb nutrients that you're eating in food. It's going to cause oxidation and inflammation. It contributes to an unhealthy gut. It gets your hormones out of whack. It contributes to getting sick often and even autoimmune diseases. It's going to affect your liver and your detoxification. It can contribute to bacteria and yeast overgrowth, to weight gain, and to circadian rhythm problems. Yes, insomnia. So, as you can see, chronic stress is not good for you. And all those effects of chronic stress that I just mentioned become hidden stressors in your body that then also contribute to insomnia. So it becomes this really vicious cycle. And so you won't have all of those problems that I just mentioned at first, but the systems in your body are going to start to break down one by one based on your body, your individual weak links, your metabolism, your genetics. So that's why some people get insomnia and other people deal with anxiety or acne or IBS, for example. Now, if you're constantly in fight or flight, you're obviously going to have a hard time sleeping well too. Your body's going to be releasing those stress hormones day and night to deal with all that stress. And then, of course, those stress hormones sabotage your sleep because they make you feel alert and awake and suppress melatonin. So even at night when you just want to be sleeping. So to summarize, first you have a stressful period in your life, whether it's a mental stressor or a physical. Your body can't compensate, so it starts to break down. Then you develop these hidden stressors that keep contributing to your chronic stress. And then that keeps contributing to your insomnia. So that's how it works. So pretty much you can meditate all day long to deal with stress. You can eat healthy. You can get plenty of exercise. But it's not going to be enough to reverse what's already going down in your body. If you are having any sort of symptoms, that means that your body is already way out of balance and isn't able to compensate. And the only way to get it back in balance is to build up those systems that are getting out of balance. And it's going to take more than diet and exercise alone. So I don't mean to be depressing here. I know this is kind of depressing. I do have good news, okay? The body gives clues as to what's going on, which we can find through lab testing. So these tests are different from the typical blood work that doctors use to diagnose disease, but I pretty much run the tests that are going to give me the most bang for our buck, right? So they're going to give me the most information for the least amount of money so that I can see all the clues as to what's going on in your body and what we can do to correct it. So I look at gut health, hormones, thyroid, food sensitivities, and mineral balance. Again, to find out what's out of balance so that we can fix it. And then you get your organs, your systems start functioning better. You start sleeping better. All of your other symptoms start to diminish. And before you know it, you are getting back to great health. So I just want you to know that there is a solution. And if you ever want to talk about it and talk about what's going on with your sleep and what is causing your insomnia, and if you're interested in these lab tests, then definitely let me know and get in touch. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the group.